The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet we've explored less than 20% of it. That means the vast majority of our world remains a mystery, hidden beneath waves, pressure, and darkness. But every so often, explorers, scientists, and even accidents uncover discoveries so strange, so unbelievable that they sound more like science fiction than reality. Today, we're diving deep into the most impossible ocean discoveries ever made. The Baltic Sea Anomaly. In 2011, a team of treasure hunters scanning the Baltic Sea with side-scan sonar spotted something so strangely regular it stopped them cold. A nearly circular 60-meter formation sitting about 300 feet down with terraces, ridges, and features that looked almost stair-like. The image was uncanny, like a giant mechanical disc laid flat on the seabed, and speculation exploded. UFO, secret military craft, lost structure. Scientists pointed to glacial scouring and unusual rock formations as plausible causes, but the symmetry and the smoothness in places kept conspiracy narratives alive. Divers who later inspected the site reported odd textures and shapes that still defy a neat explanation. And the anomaly's quiet presence on the floor of the Baltic has become a perfect example of how sonar images can pull our imagination between geology and myth. Whether natural or engineered, the Baltic Sea Anomaly remains an eerie reminder that the ocean's surface hides puzzling shapes that push experts and amateurs alike to ask whether we've missed entire chapters of Earth's own history. The Bloop. In 1997, oceanographic listening stations registered one of the loudest, most mysterious underwater sounds ever recorded. So intense that sensors thousands of kilometers apart picked up the same signal. Scientists nicknamed it the Bloop, and for a while the most spine-tingling idea was that the noise came from some enormous, previously unknown organism, big enough to make a sound heard across the Pacific. That hypothesis captured the public imagination. What gigantic life form could create that acoustic footprint? Later analysis suggested the sound's acoustic signature most closely matched ice quakes. Icebergs carving and cracking as they move and collide. And agencies like NOAA proposed such non-biological origins. Still, the sheer volume and odd frequency pattern left room for doubt. And the Bloop lives on in popular ocean lore as an audio ghost. A reminder that the sea can transmit secrets across vast distances, and that our tools sometimes pick up phenomena we can only partially explain. Yonaguni Monument. Off the southern coast of Japan, divers discovered a vast submerged formation in 1986 that immediately raised questions. Are those terraces, ledges, and sharp right angles the work of nature, or the ruins of an ancient drowned city? The Yonaguni Monument features flat plains, broad steps, and linear edges so precise that some archaeologists proposed they were the remains of a human-built complex now lost beneath rising seas. Others counter that tectonic uplift and sandstone fracturing compounded by wave erosion could plausibly create the same visual cues. The debate is heated because if Yonaguni were man-made, it would force a radical rethink of prehistoric maritime societies and sea-level history. Divers who explore it report corridors and platforms that feel purposeful, while geologists point to natural bedding planes and jointing. Whether carved by hands or carved by time, Yonaguni sits at the boundary between geology and archaeology, a site that forces us to question how we define ruins, how sea levels erased ancient shorelines, and how evidence can be read in radically different ways depending on your discipline. Lake Vostok's hidden biosphere. Buried under nearly 2 miles of Antarctic ice lies Lake Vostok, a colossal freshwater lake cut off from the world for millions of years and kept in perpetual darkness and high pressure. The idea that a sealed ecosystem could exist under kilometers of ice sounds like science fiction, but Russian drilling programs eventually reached the lake and retrieved water and ice samples that contained DNA signatures not matching known organisms. These findings suggest microbes adapted to cold, high pressure, and complete isolation may have diverged along unique evolutionary paths, forming ecosystems that have been evolving in near total seclusion for millennia. Lake Vostok is not just an earthly curiosity. It's a blueprint for how life might persist under the ice of other worlds, and a laboratory for studying survival strategies that defy our usual expectations. The discovery of unknown microbes there expanded the definition of habitable environments and reminded scientists how much biodiversity could be hiding in places humans rarely touch, locked away beneath a veneer of white for epochs, yet teeming with life written in darkness. Deep sea brine pools. Plunge to abyssal depths and you can find lakes within the ocean. Brine pools, where super salty, chemically distinct water settles into depressions on the seafloor and refuses to mix with surrounding seawater. These pools form sharp boundaries, literal shorelines and ripples, and their interiors are often toxic, heavy with methane, hydrogen sulfide, and extraordinary salinity that will kill most animals on contact. The scene is jarringly surreal. A black, oily surface lapping against the ocean floor like a shoreline inside the sea. Yet life has adapted to live on the edges. Chemosynthetic bacteria, tube worms, unusual crustaceans, and other extremophiles harness chemical energy from the pool's toxic soup to sustain entire communities. These ecosystems rewrite the rules, organisms without sunlight, living off chemistry, and have broad implications for understanding the limits of life and where it can flourish. Brine pools are proof that the ocean can form microhabitats as alien as any extraterrestrial landscape, and that life will colonize niches we once thought impossible. The immortal jellyfish. Among the ocean's impossible discoveries is a tiny, translucent creature with a biology that seems to thumb its nose at aging. Turritopsis dohrnii, the so-called immortal jellyfish. When threatened, diseased, or aged, an adult of this species can transform its cells back into an earlier life stage, a process known as transdifferentiation, essentially rewinding its life cycle to become a juvenile polyp again. In controlled laboratory settings, this has been observed to repeat, meaning individuals have the potential to avoid death through biological aging indefinitely, if they aren't eaten or destroyed by the environment. The phenomenon raises deep questions about cellular plasticity and regeneration, and it has spurred research into how cells switch identity and repair themselves. While the jellyfish isn't literal immortality, ecological pressures still limit its survival. Its life strategy shows how evolution can invent astonishing workarounds to the timetable of life and death. For scientists, it's a living clue that the mechanisms of rejuvenation exist in nature and may someday yield insights into medicine and tissue regeneration. From underwater UFOs to immortal creatures, the ocean proves time and again that it holds mysteries beyond imagination. What we've uncovered so far is just the tip of the iceberg, literally. With more than 80% of the ocean unexplored, who knows what impossible discoveries still await? Ancient cities, unknown species, or perhaps something that changes our understanding of life itself. So, what do you think? Are these natural wonders or clues to secrets we're not meant to know? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.